Hey, what's going on, guys? Crass Businessman here. Today we're going to be talking about the negative aspects of having an enlarged ego. Today's quote of the day is egotism, the art of seeing in yourself what others cannot see. And that's by George Higgins. Hey guys, hope you had a phenomenal weekend. Mine was pretty productive, so I'm pretty happy about that. First off, I want to define what I mean by ego. The standard definition is a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. And the colloquial definition, which we're going to be using, would describe someone who is full of themselves. So it's usually just ego to the negative extent of it. Now, there are many athletes and big-name superstars who are definitely ego-driven. And oddly enough, in many cases, this helps them perform way better. And this is affected by, upbringing, perspective, personal motives. It's the usual suspects. But we often hear how too much of an ego can be a bad thing. So is that even true? I'm actually going to say yes, but only if it causes inhibited growth. So for example, if you think you're too good to practice, if you think you're too good to learn, you think you're too good to even need to try, you're obviously fucking yourself and probably everyone around you. But this can also quite frequently come in under the radar, as there are many forms of what I call ego inhibition. When you are in a position of authority, you can easily find yourself in situations that require your decisions, and often others will offer their opinion as well, subordinates, what have you. And when I first started doing construction with my stepfather around 16, 17 years old, I would often question the methods in which we would operate. My stepdad, obviously from a different generation, was and still is very much an authoritarian. Basically, what he says goes, he knows better, that's it. Now, I've never disagreed with the fact that he was the boss, nor did I disagree with the fact that he probably knows best. What I did question, though, was why we didn't try different methods for accomplishing new tasks. Many take on the mentality or the ideology of, don't reinvent the wheel. This is completely counter to anyone who's an innovator. And when I started my own company, there were a few occasions when I decided to take the chance, and it panned out quite well. And I can still hear it in my head from time to time, remembering back when my pops would say, I've been doing this for 25 years. What, you don't think I know the best way to do it? And there is some truth to this claim. But by itself, it's an argument from authority, which is a logical fallacy. Simply because he's been doing it for 25 years does not mean directly that he knows the best way. Now, granted, it's highly likely. I don't think that he'd be, dumb enough to be trying a stupid method the entire time. But considering that we keep discovering, that every aspect of life has thousands of variables to it, the likelihood that anyone has perfected every single one of them is very slim. And the particular example I'll bring up is interior painting. I'm going to give you a little bit of background information. The modern traditional way to paint is either with a spray rig or with a brush and roller. Drawback to spraying is that you have to mask everything, or it's going to all get covered in spray dust. And masking takes a lot of time and a lot of material. Now, depending on your skills and depending on the situation of the job, sometimes it's warranted and quicker to use a brush and roller. And when hitting the small sections, like the line of the ceiling or parts that you can't reach with a roller, it's a process known as cutting in. And until I took a chance, I thought this was the only way to paint the line for the ceiling. And man, was I wrong. I bought a $4 tool known as an edger that I distinctly remember my pops saying, oh, it doesn't work. It's not worth fucking with. And this, after using it, it actually cut my painting time down by half on one job. And what this says to me isn't that, that I'm smarter. It's not saying that I'm more skilled, or it's not even saying that I'm better at painting. What this does say to me, though, is that I'm open-minded enough to try new things. So while Pops puts his confidence in his skills and experience, and he's very rigid and pretty ego-driven in that regard, I put my confidence in my pursuit of efficiency and innovation. If you're too rigid to be open to changes that are demonstrably better, the only person that's going to suffer is you. But also understand that there needs to be a balance. You obviously can't waste all day, every day on figuring out the best way to sweep up a pile of dirt. It wouldn't make any sense. But if someone brings to your attention that they have a better way to do it, at bare minimum, you should lend an ear with an open mind, because you might actually just be pleasantly surprised. You don't know everything, and it's usually best not to operate under that preconceived notion. So keep your ego in check in terms of being open-minded. But if you can utilize it as mental fuel to perform better, use that as well. That's about it for this video, guys. Once again, I'm Crass Businessman. Please like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, stay productive.